Hey guys, what's up? I'm back for another recap and review for Love and Marriage DC. This is still season 1, episode 12, The Reunion Part 2. And as always, I am Janice or Barb. Just do not call me Janice or Barbara, and we're gonna get right on into it, okay? Okay, so we pick up exactly where we left off, and everybody's still going in on winter. At this point, I'm just kind of tired. I did see a couple winter interviews, and she's sticking to her guns as far as, she's taking ownership for the fact that of how she reacted and handled things, and kind of like not being specific about like timelines as far as her saying like, yes, Monique did know me in the capacity of being a relationship advisor or whatever, therapist or whatever. But now I am solely just, a life coach, a spiritual advisor, and those of that nature. So she did take ownership for that. I've seen in recent interviews and stuff like that. But honestly, this whole storyline is just so dead to me because, like, it still doesn't negate the fact that Ashley, Irena, like everybody was kind of coming at her and she reacted just like any other person I think would. I'm not going to say I don't want to see her back next season. I don't mind seeing her back, but if it's going to be about this and what she's got going on while everybody else has stuff going on behind their closed doors that we're not talking about, that is actual like marriage shit, then I'm going to be annoyed. And I say that just because like this turned into the whole winter show. I mean, let me know in the comments below if you guys disagree, but that's how I feel at least. And Monique, I'm just like, I get you saying that you guys never hung out like that. You guys just knew each other for, 15, however many years, just like on a acquaintance, associate level. But I feel like you took that, if that was the case, then why were you trying to, like, that just still isn't consistent with everything that you did as well, I feel like. So I don't know, I'm still kind of confused about that. But Winter says that she has receipts on Quick and Jamie, and of course Jamie is quick to be like, but you don't even know me, like how dare you, pretty much. And I can understand that, but it's at the end of the day, receipts are receipts. And if somebody sent you a receipt, you don't have to know the person it's about. Like, someone just sent this to me. So what's your point? And I feel like that's such a quick thing to say and throw up as your defense is, oh, you don't know me or whatever, to kind of deflect. But okay. And Ashley says that she would never bring up a rumor about another married person. And I'm like, but you bring up things that are can be equally as hurtful though, I feel like, or you can still be mean in other ways. So what are you really saying here? Whatever. Winter says the receipts are photographs of infidelity records and texts that have been sent over since the show has been airing. And those rumors only pertain to Quick currently, because someone who she worked with, I'm looking at my notes, someone she worked with claims that she was intimate with Quick when they worked at Park, which is a club. Of course, my husband, he's in DC, had to be, oh yeah, Park used to be jumpy back in the day. I'm like, apparently I guess it still is, and people making up rumors that they get fucked around there. Anyway, so of course Quick has to say, I'm 1,000% not cheating on my wife, nor have I ever at Park or any other club. I'm like, were your fingers crossed? Were your toes crossed? Was anything crossed when you said that? Because never, ever, 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 ever are strong words. Okay. And then Winter says that the receipts that she's been sent over the past 48 hours, however, are for both Quick and Jamie. And that's when Jamie, of course, jumps in. And then Quick says, this happens all the time. That's basically what both of them are saying. And to a degree, I understand that and can, like, I can jive with that, obviously when you start to get a little bit of fame and stuff like that, like stuff does come out the woodwork, and people do try to throw salt on your name and stuff like that. But is it believable though? Are these rumors and all this stuff believable just based on the character that you guys portrayed on this show? I'm gonna leave it at that. So then Carlos asks, oh, I gotta point out when Jamie said that was some clown Bama ass shit. And of course, my husband, because that's DC for real, they do say Bama a lot. And of course, Chris was like, see, I take offense to that because I am from Alabama. And he's just like, nah, like that's just how we talk. And I'm like, I can 100% confirm that message. That is how they talk. Those are just some words I will never understand. And I'm sorry. I'm from Jersey. Sorry. Anyway, but like I was saying, Carlos asks Monique, do you regret bringing Winter around these ladies? And I can't exactly remember what she said, but it's kind of like Monique was like, I don't know, I feel like she was placing all the blame on Winter. And I'm just like, I feel like in this case, you can't blame one without blaming the other. Like, most of what I saw and can say about Winter's actions was like out of retaliation. And you only going to poke a person so much before they may sometimes get out of character. And I feel like that's what Winter kind of owned up to in the end, is saying like, hey, like, I can take ownership for my actions and stuff like that. But it's like, at the end of the day, if no one else is, then what is the point really? Like, you better than we, Winter girl. And Monique says, we don't do rumors, and everybody kind of said the same thing about that. Apparently prior to the show happening or something like that, everybody was kind of, there's general consensus was like, we're not going to entertain rumors, we're not on that messy shit, like, this is going to be this show is geared to a whole different other type of storyline, message and stuff, so we're trying to steer clear of all the fuckery pretty much. And then now I got to turn back over to Winter, because this is when she said out of her own mouth, or this is when Ashley was like, because Winter was like, I can't remember, she says something about that conversation happened before the show, or before I came into the picture, something like that. And then this is when Ashley's like, if you as a grown-ass adult shouldn't have to be asked to not bring up rumors. And I'm like, I can't even argue with that. Me and Ashley don't even always be here. But in this instance, I can't even argue with that, because that's like social etiquette 101. Like, no one should ever have to tell you not to, how to conduct yourself, like, with a little bit of couth, with the some poise and just respect and stuff like that. Like, no one should have to tell you that. That should just be something that And honestly, I'm the type of person, if I have to tell you those types of things, and not to like, hey, by the way, can you not throw me under the bus? Like, if I have to tell you that, then like, I don't need you in my life, period, already. Like, I'm not about to teach somebody how to be a friend or an acquaintance or anybody like that, or somebody who's gonna be in my circle. Like, I'm not gonna do that. You don't need to be there then, period. So then we get into how, Monique was playing peacemaker, and Winter feels like, Monique hasn't changed, but I feel like, her thing mostly was like, once the ladies got involved, that's where things got the other ladies got involved, and that's where things got a little funky. And I could see how that's the case, because even in the end, Monique says, basically there's no hard feelings between them. They're just kind of still where they've always been. And I think bringing Winter onto the show, and this whole show and everything, and this whole group environment was supposed to like create more friendships and stuff like that. But in turn, it didn't, which also didn't create enemies, but yeah, it didn't create friendships or anything like that. So they just kind of stayed on this even plane that they've always been. So, I mean, that's not good nor bad. It is what it is. And everyone agrees that Winter brought the drama, because Monique, she was the ringleader, and saying Winter loves the drama. Even on Carlos's the Nightcap show, how when Winter was asked if she believes that, I think Jamie was cheating or had cheated on Irena or whatever, that Winter said since filming with him, she can believe that both him and Irena have had some fun in the past or something like that. And Monique's whole thing was, see, that continued to stir the pot, instead of just saying like, yeah, that's not my place to say. I don't even know those people, anything like that. Like, she said what I just said. And I'm like, I can see both sides. And at this point, this is when I was kind of like, okay, are you guys do know you're on a reality show, right? And you do know that people, like, someone has to do that. Someone has to say comments like that. Because if everybody just takes the high road all the time, no one's going to watch. I'm sorry. That is what it is. I know how reality TV works. And drama sells just like sex sells. Just like any aesthetics sells. Any of those things sell. Drama sells. And in this case, maybe Winter was doing that. I don't know. But I do also have to say, like, Winter, then you need to keep it 1,000. Then if that is how you like to get down, then just say that. Just own that. There ain't nothing wrong with that. You're on the right stage for it, of course. But I was just like, and she also said based on filming, and anyone can formulate their own opinions having worked with somebody closely over, however many episodes and stuff like that. Had she like never filmed with him, never met him a day in her life, and still was able to formulate that opinion off of somebody that, yeah, she really never even had been introduced to, then that'd be a different story. But she said since filming, and she didn't just say about him, she said about both of them. And I feel like to a degree, both of them confirmed that throughout the season. When Irena, in the DMs and certain stuff, and then, Jamie with the red light special, like, to a degree, like, I can believe that too. I don't feel like that was bad to say. Instead of jumping on her ass every 5 minutes, maybe you guys should just own up to it. Oh, gee, golly, no one wants to do that though, right? Chris, of course, the voice of reason, lets it be known that in the end, we don't play like that. This was never supposed to be where we were trying to take the show. So, all right, that's fine. And Winter, of course, owns that this season a lot of things weren't done in good taste, and she would have done things, differently if given the chance. So I'm cool with that. Of course, Ashley declines the apology that Winter gives, and Irena kind of, with her little, baby bird, hummingbird voice, kind of, I think, was trying to decline it as well. And I mean, it is what it is. You can't force anybody to accept an apology. If they feel as though, which we also saw that at the conclusion of the season, everything was cool. And even at, events after that, apparently things were cool until just recently. So if Ashley says she's out of chances, she's out of chances. And I'm honestly, at my age, at this point, I am the same way. Like, you got about like a half a chance with me. I know that sounds petty, but I'm not lying. Like, you got about half a chance with me before I am just like, okay, I'm good. Like, you show your card one time, and I'm sorry, you out. Like, period. You out. Like, I'm annoying. Those scissors are just right there. I promise you, I didn't do it on purpose. Anyway, oh, where was I at? I'm so stupid. Like I said before, Monique says her and Winter are still the same. And then I will say I can understand, and I believe, shout out to Bonnie Blue, she said this in kind of one of her lives once, that Monique was kind of like, wait until you see how things plan out. And no one was really like understanding why she was kind of like doing the things she was throughout the season. But she kind of gave us a little bit more insight into that during this half of this reunion, where she says that she only brought up the nicknames because it was going to come out during when the show was airing anyway. So it was like, otherwise, had she not have said it, yeah, that could have came back on her. So I can agree with that. Moving on to the Tylers, both of them, they had worked tirelessly at their 9-to-5s prior to, moving on up. And while she was, raising the kids and stuff like that, he would get home, and still go out and be on a party scene and stuff like that, would go out and do his whole club thing. She was back at the home with the kids, especially obviously with Jason and stuff, and his disability. She had to obviously pay extra care to him and his needs. And as the kids started to grow up, maybe, and get a little bit more independent and stuff, she, started to want to go out with her friends. And then this is when she says that it kind of switched, though, for him. Like, he kind of was, like, not cool with that. And I was like, I can see that. I can totally see that. But you know who can't see that? Jamie. Jamie wasn't trying to see that. Jamie don't want to hear that. And a lot of times you see that with people. They don't want to hear the truth. Yes, the truth hurts, but it's the truth at the end of the day. And I get there's three sides to every story, but something tells me that Irana's is as close to the truth as possible. And we even see that because later on, I'll get into that, but he was pissed, of course. And I'm just like, they can't even get their story straight. Like, meaning like, oh, like, how'd you guys get together? Like, where'd you guys meet? Like, they can't even get that whole, like, how did you guys get to this point? 26 years later, story straight. And I'm just like, good Lord, y'all just, I cannot. He, of course, always blames it on her being extra dramatic, and she exaggerates everything, like, but she still, it was like, no, like, I'm just telling the truth and telling, how I feel. And that doesn't mean that you were a bad father. I was like, you're a good father. And everybody also kind of chimes in. Monique, I think this is the point where she chimes in as well. But he's still like, that was 20 years ago. And this is when I'm like, that's what it is. Like, it's true. You just aren't trying to hear it. You don't want to deal with it. And Jamie, he also says that he was there more as Jason got older and stuff like that. And I think he said that he would go in to work at 7, say hi, run back right out, and, drop the kids off to school or do whatever. Like, he was more present at different times. And I'm just like, I think that's kind of normal. Like, and I don't understand. Actually, I do. I understand why they get so, like, up in arms about the whole thing, because they want to put on these perfect ass appearances all the time. And we know that that's not possible. That's not true. That's not realistic at all. And I'm just like, if you guys just keep it for 100% real with everybody, then you guys will probably not be so defensive of one another when you guys sit down and talk about this type of stuff. Did you ever think about that? But Ashley, she also makes a good point. And she says there's a difference between getting past something and getting through something. And they are living proof of that. Like, just because it's been 26 years, clearly she's still bringing up stuff because it still bothers her somehow. So, or some way deep down inside. And that's what you guys need to be trying to actually work on, so that there's not another 26 years that you're still bringing up the same old tired ass fucking dry ass whack ass bullshit. Like, and I get so passionate about that type of stuff because, honestly, transparent moment, this is something that I've had to deal with in my personal life and stuff like that too. And kind of a cycle that, like, earlier on in my marriage, like, that me and my husband even found ourselves in at times, where it was just like, okay, let's pump the brakes real quick, because why are we still arguing about some stuff that happened, like, over here? Like Ashley said, there's a difference between getting through something and past something. Like, you actually need to resolve it, come to some type of conclusion and closure and all that before you guys can just move on, because it's just going to keep coming back. Like, it's just going to keep coming back. And I don't know why it's taken them so long to realize this. And Ashley also, I think it was Ashley, yeah, that also points out, like, yeah, this is why Monique and Chris, like, is basically Monique and Chris, that could easily been them, Irana and Jamie, arguing about the same stuff or whatever. But Chris is, and I love it, he's like, but no, I hear you now, though. I hear you. So he don't want to be that. They don't want to be that. And I'm like, neither do I. Like, could not be me. But like I said before, Jamie's still pissed. So they all break for commercial or whatever, and they go back into the back, and he goes in the dressing room, and he's like, why on TV? Like, why do you gotta do all this on TV? Like, trying to paint me to be like the bad guy, and if why would you keep bringing up something it's going to trigger me, and trying to make it seem like we're just like so dysfunctional and stuff like that. And I'm just like, again, this whole appearance bullshit. If that's y'all's truth, then own it. That's y'all's truth. Like, you guys are way too old. Like, and it's not, I'm not trying to be ageist, not like that, but you guys are way too grown to be like you should be able to be out here just in your full realness. Like, and it should just be that, like, whatever. So the boys come out, Jason and Lil Jamie, they come out, and it was a really good scene. Of course, Jason knows that he's the fan favorite, and I was just like, I love to hear it. His IG's been popping. He ain't got no girlfriend yet, but after this show, that might change, okay? So y'all head on over to his DM. No, I'm just kidding. But no, good for him. He's been doing really good at doors. He's still waiting to get cleared to start working, and then from there, and then he can move out, hopefully. And ultimately, he still wants to work for Apple because he really wants to help people with disabilities be able to work these devices. And I was like, if that ain't beauty, Apple people, as fucking Nadia would say, Apple people, y'all come down here and give this boy an internship. Like, where you at? Fuck. And I really did love when Jamie got emotional when he was talking about Jason and how he's a smart guy. And he's like, you know, I really do. He loves his kids. He really does. He just has a weird ass way of showing it. A very hard exterior way of showing it, but I thought that was really dope to me. And Lil Jamie, he's also still going through his legal process with everything, but he's feeling really optimistic about that. He's been on the straight and narrow, and he can say that his family can attest to that. And he really, they're both very appreciative of the opportunity that they were given to be on the show, and he's excited to come back for another season and continue to change the narrative of, you know, how he is looking and stuff like that. And, you know, I love to hear it. I really do. I think if anything good came out of this show, then that right there. So, you know, in conclusion, everybody, you know, has got things going on. Of course, business is booming. Everybody says that they're working on things within their relationships. We're gonna see, you know, we're gonna see if there's a season 2. We're gonna see, all right? But I think Chris gave us one more. I hear you, and I was like, I don't know why. I just love to hear that. I love to hear that, like, because I don't want anybody. I never want anyone's marriage to fall apart, of course, and it feels good to know that there can finally be on like the same page, you know. Because contrary to popular belief, like a lot of people were like thinking that they were about to divorce, or that Monique was just riding him extra hard or whatever. And I feel like at this point, this is where, you know, Monique can kind of be like, to all you guys who thought that she was just pulling shit out her ass for whatever reason. And of course, Quick had to have the final word. Just Mr. Extra, like prom queen. But, you know, overall, it was good. It was a good season, I will say. Good first season. And I hope it does get renewed. Carlos, if you're out there, I do hope it gets renewed. But my only request, if and when it does get renewed, is that, yes, the Lions are brought on more in a fuller capacity next season, because I'm interested in hearing about their story as well. And I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. So if you are watching this video, I said what I said. Please take my suggestion into consideration. But that's really it, y'all, for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. All right? Bye.